warm welcome to all of you. I learned that people both within and outside Karnataka have registered, so ನಾನು ಕನ್ನಡ ಮತ್ತು ಇಂಗ್ಲಿಷ್ ಮಿಕ್ಸ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಆಲ್ ಪ್ರಥಮವಾಗಿ ನನ್ನ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು ಟು ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಸಚ್ಚಿದಾನಂದ, ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಲಿಂಗೇಗೌಡ and all the members of Rajiv Gandhi University of Health Sciences and my co-panelists Dr. Karjagi and Dr. Balu. Delighted to see you so well, Balu. Association goes back 30 years or more. 35. But we still feel very young when we see each other.
I'm absolutely young.
Yeah.
So you're also young.
Yeah, because we go back 30 years. So it's easy to flash back, at least when we meet each other. That's what happens with me.
It's a great pleasure to be a panelist with you and Dr. Karjagi. Two people I admire and respect a lot. So.
Thank you so much. That's high praise coming from you. And thank you so much. And welcome to all of you. Now, I'll be keeping my opening remarks not very long, I hope, because I am equally eager to listen to Dr. Balu and Dr. Karjagi. But I'll be speaking on just 3 points. One, what is this new normal? Now we are in the middle of COVID. ನಾಳೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೋ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ಇವತ್ತು ಸಾಯಂಕಾಲ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೋ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. Anything can happen. It's a time of high uncertainty. And this is the first time in our generation we are facing this kind of crisis. There have been smaller crises before, but it did not affect those of us in our country as much as it did. There was the AIDS scare, there was the Ebola scare, and there was the 2008 subprime crisis, but we were less affected by that. But now COVID has, it's all enveloping. It's, crossed all national barriers, and it is before us today, and it is trying hard to get us within its clutch. So this is something which we are living to the crisis. But what I would like to do is that I want to take you beyond that crisis, both above and beyond that crisis which we are facing. I want you to see how the world, on the Dooradrishtiinda nodbeku, with a kind of vision that what would happen to the world once this is over and gone. How are we changing now, and how that change is going to manifest in the immediate or midterm future, and how we should transform ourselves in order to meet those challenges of the new world, the post-COVID world. I'll be speaking on just 3 points. How is the working world? Now, ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡುವ ವಾತಾವರಣ. How is the professional world going to change? How is the professional environment going to change? ಆ ಪ್ರೊಫೆಷನಲ್ ಎನ್ವೈರನ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುವ ಬದಲಾವಣೆಗಳು, ದ ಚೇಂಜಸ್ ಅನ್ನು ನ್ಯಾವಿಗೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ, ಹೌ ಶುಡ್ ವಿ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಅವರ್ ಸೆಲ್ಸ್? ವಾಟ್ ಕೈಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಪರ್ಸನಲ್ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ ಇಸ್ ರಿಕ್ವೈರ್ಡ್? ಅಂಡ್ ಫೈನಲಿ ದ ಬ್ರಿಡ್ಜ್ ಬಿಟ್ವೀನ್ ದೀಸ್ ಟು, ದ ಚೇಂಜಸ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಪ್ರೊಫೆಷನಲ್ ವರ್ಲ್ಡ್ and the personal changes or transformation that is required. ನಾವೇ ನಮ್ಮನ್ನು ಪರಿವರ್ತನೆ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. So what is the bridge between those two? That is capacity building. And it is so right that our co-panelists have established themselves in that sphere of capacity building, and I hope to learn more from them. Now let us look first at the professional world. ಯಾವ ಬದಲಾವಣೆಗಳು ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ನಾವು ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡುವ ವಾತಾವರಣದಲ್ಲಿ. IBM CEO ಕೆಲವು ದಿವಸಗಳ ಮುಂಚೆ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದರು ಒಂದು ಆನ್ಲೈನ್ ಕಾನ್ಕ್ಲೇವ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ. ಅವರು ಹೇಳಿದ್ದು, history would look back on this as the moment when the digital transformation of business and society suddenly accelerated. What is going to happen in the post-COVID world is that technology will come to the forefront. ಈಗ ಟೆಕ್ನಾಲಜಿ ನಮಗೇನು ಹೊಸದಲ್ಲ, ಅದು ಬ್ಯಾಂಗ್ಳೂರಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುವವರೆಗೆ we are called the Silicon Valley of India. It is not new to us. Even within government, outside government, private sector, we have already come to use computers in a big way, but not as much as we are doing ever since COVID started. So once we start to do almost everything, almost all sectors are now moving online and starting to use technology. Artificial intelligence, biotech, edutech. Now, many of you are university professors lecturers. Almost entirely higher education has moved online. All our classes are being given online. Rajiv Gandhi University is also providing classes online. So education has moved online. Healthcare is already moved online. It is going to move online in a much bigger way. We are now saying that artificial intelligence will be the first responder in cases of crisis. Entertainment has moved online. So none of us work, regardless of the sector in which we are working, whether it is government or medicine or education or entertainment, we all will be affected. Not only that, ನಮ್ಮ ದಿನನಿತ್ಯ ಚಟುವಟಿಕೆಗಳು, our day-to-day activities. If you want to book a railway ticket today, you can do it only online. If you want to order food, you single idira, maneli idira, you want to order food, you do it online. Buying groceries has moved online. When shops are closed, what do? You depend on Swiggy or Big Basket or Amazon, or if you are lucky enough, then your neighboring. But so much has moved online, and this trend will continue. What I anticipate is that maybe 70% may move back, or 60% may move back to the business as usual, but 40% of all sectors will remain online, and that will be the onward progression. So importance of technology. None of us can ignore technology any longer. Second, ಇದುವರೆ ನಮಗೆ ಇದ್ದ ಅಭ್ಯಾಸ ಏನು? ದಿವಸ ನಾವು ಬೆಳಿಗ್ಗೆ ಎತ್ತೀವಿ, ವಿಲ್ ಗೆಟ್ ರೆಡಿ, ವಿಲ್ ಗೋ ಟು ಎನ್ ಆಫೀಸ್. ಆಫೀಸ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಒಂದು ಬಿಲ್ಡಿಂಗ್. ರಾಜೀವ್ ಗಾಂಧಿ ಯೂನಿವರ್ಸಿಟಿ ಆಫ್ ಹೆಲ್ತ್ ಸೈನ್ಸಸ್, ದರ್ ಇಸ್ ಅ ಬಿಲ್ಡಿಂಗ್. ನನ್ನ ಆಫೀಸ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಅದು ಬಿಲ್ಡಿಂಗ್. Now we are saying work from home. The work from home will slowly transform to work from anywhere. Now Balu is able to speak to us, address all of us from Mysore. So we are able to bridge that physical distance, and there is no need of a brick and mortar any longer. So work from home means that we will be able to move from place to place. We have an expertise, we can sell that expertise. And that work from home, even 2 years back, 3 years back, now WFH andre nagtare, oh maneyalli nidre ಮಾಡ್ತೀಯ ಅಂತಾರೆ. No, now it is not so. Now we are doing extremely productive transactions, extremely important work online. Now let me give you an example which I have personal knowledge of. Nan maglu, she is a lawyer, and she has been working for the past couple of months, ever since in fact lockdown began. She has been working on that acquisition of 10% stake from this thing, Jio, Reliance Jio ನಲ್ಲಿ 10% stake Facebook acquire ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. It is I think $6 billion deal. It is the biggest transaction which India has seen, and she has been working on that. And the wonderful and critical thing is that the very complex and complicated legal negotiations which are involved in such a transaction, because it's transnational transaction and a huge transaction, all that has been done remotely. It has been done online. So in fact, India has proved that we are up and running with the same speed, or perhaps greater speed, even in the time of lockdown, completely relying on online resources. So it is not that if you are sitting at home, you are working from home, you are going to be unproductive. In fact, you will be more productive. And it gives us the flexibility to work not in one place, but maybe serve multiple masters. Take me as an example. I joined the IAS when I was in my 20s. I will be retiring from the IAS. One day office, one day boss, one day employer. But it will not be so hereafter. I may serve multiple employers, and this is not new. In fact, we already are used to it in the sphere of medicine. Take a doctor, a surgeon tagoli. He may be attached, let us say he is attached to Bangalore Medical College. That is his main employer. But ಬೇರೆ hospitals ನಲ್ಲಿ ಅವರು consultancy ಮಾಡ್ತಿರ್ತಾರೆ, and he is earning remuneration from all those different employers or different hospitals. This will become true for almost every profession hereafter. If you are an entertainment professional, let us say advertising professional, you may be doing advertising creatives for many organizations. If you are a teacher, you may be teaching in multiple universities because there is no barrier anymore. I can teach maybe tomorrow. Dr. Karjagi may teach in Harvard University. Balu is already teaching in Cornell, and hereafter he'll be able to hold online classes. So the distance goes. You will be serving multiple employers. You will peddle your expertise, and so ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಹೆದರ್ಕೋಬೇಕಾಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಓಹೋ ನೌಕರಿ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ. ಮೇ ಬಿ ಪರ್ಮನೆಂಟ್ ಎಂಪ್ಲಾಯ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಸೆನ್ಸ್ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಟು ಅದು ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ, ಬಟ್ ಯು ವಿಲ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ರೀಮ್ ಫ್ಲೆಕ್ಸಿಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಅಂಡ್ ಪಾಸಿಬ್ಲಿ ಅರ್ನ್ ಮೋರ್ ದೆನ್ ಯು ವಿಲ್ ಅದರ್ವೈಸ್ ಅರ್ನ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಕನ್ವೆನ್ಷನಲ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್. One more change will happen in the working world. That is, cooperation and collaboration will increase. And for that, the best example is, in fact, sitting next to me, the Vice Chancellor of Rajiv Gandhi University of Health Sciences. In the past so many weeks, we have collaborated on so many such programs, capacity building programs for NSS officers, for youth service officers, for doctors, medical professionals, non-medical professionals. We are bringing our resources. I have certain resources, he has his resources, we are bringing that together. Cooperation and collaboration is not restricted only, to small initiatives like this. Now, let me give you a much bigger example. GlaxoSmithKline is a very big company, and so is Sanofi. Ibru pharmaceutical giants. They are both pharmaceutical giants, and they are rivals in the pharmaceutical market. But today, because of COVID-19, they have brought their resources together. Now, Sanofi is working on an antigen for COVID-19. And Glaxo is a leader in adjuvant technology. Adjuvant technology means with a small dose, you can increase the effectiveness. Therefore, the requirement of doses becomes less. They have decided to pool their resources together, and today they are working. They have forgotten their normal rivalry, their commercial or professional rivalry, but they are collaborating. So this will happen more and more. And this also means that so many other things we have to let go of our silo style of working. ನನ್ನದೇ ಒಳ್ಳೆಯದು, ಬೇರೆಯವ್ರದ್ದು ನಾನು ಕೇಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಹೇಳಲಿಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. I know something, somebody else knows something else. We are bringing our expertise or our specializations together. And in this kind of a professional world, ನಾವು ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ ಹೊಟ್ಟೆ ಕಿಚ್ಚು ಅಂತ. ಹೊಟ್ಟೆ ಕಿಚ್ಚುಗೆ ಜಾಗ ಇಲ್ಲ. There is no room for jealousy, envy, backbiting. ಇವೆಲ್ಲ these are all small changes, these are large changes, but there are also micro level changes which are required in our manner of working so that we are able to adjust to this world. And that brings me to my second point. What kind of personal transformation is required? Now, ನಮ್ಮನ್ನು ಹೇಗೆ ಬದಲಾವಣೆ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು? These are the changes. The technology will come, cooperation and collaboration will come into the picture. Now, in this kind of a world, how am I to change myself? ನನಗೆ ನಾನು ಹೇಗೆ change ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು? Number one, understand that change is the only constant. ಬದಲಾವಣೆ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. The things are not within our control. COVID-19 has brought that into stark relief. We have to recognize that. Embrace change and uncertainty. Uncertainty-ನಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಕಾಮ್ ಆಗಿ ಇರೋದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ಕಲಿಯಬೇಕು. There is no point that things will be the same as ನಾನಿದ್ದಾಗ when I started my career, how it was, ಅದೇ ತರ ಇರಬೇಕು, or ನಾನು ಸ್ಕೂಲ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದಾಗ ಹೇಗೆ ಇತ್ತು ಅದೇ ತರ ಇರಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಅದು ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. We have to be, see, the two things are required. We have to be very agile and nimble in our thought and action. Very quick ಆಗಿ ನಾವು we have to change according to circumstance. ನಾನು ಎಷ್ಟೋ ಲೆಕ್ಚರ್ಸ್ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೆ, ಕಾಲೇಜಿಗೆ ಇನ್ವೈಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, I'll see the live audience, I'll be speaking to them. Now I am called to give an online lecture. I do not see the audience. I cannot see anyone's eyes. I cannot speak, look at their expressions and speak. But I have to change myself very quickly. At the same time, in the heart, develop equanimity. Keep calm. ಅಯ್ಯೋ ಏನಾಗ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೋ, ಹೇಗೆ ಇರುತ್ತೋ, ಇದೇನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, what will I do, ನಾಳೆ ಹೇಗಿರುತ್ತೋ, it is not going to help at all. Again, let me tell you, and I'm not just speaking in the air. I have my own difficulties. Both my children They are in Maharashtra. Maharashtra is extremely affected, as you know. If I am always anxious, ಅಯ್ಯೋ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೋ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೋ, ಮಗಳು ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಇದ್ದಾಳೆ, ಮಗನು ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ, and ಮಗನು ಫ್ರಂಟ್ ಲೈನ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ. He belongs to your profession, Balu, so he is in the front line. And if I keep on getting anxious, it doesn't help me and doesn't help them. If they have to do their job properly, I have to keep my anxieties at rest and encourage them, or at least be normal with them. So this is something, equanimity, what we say, that we have to develop. All of us have to develop. There is no substitute for mental balance and emotional intelligence. Second, Hindi hegittu. Now when we are in our 20s, up to our 20s, we will study. And then we will go to an office, work there till our 50s or 60s, and then we'll retire. That was a natural progression of life. So once we cross our graduation or post-graduation, then all books alla muchit biಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಕೆಲವು ಜನ books alla, in fact, they sell it off. Now it is no longer possible. Fortunately for us, learning is available at the click of a button. And we have to be in that continuous learning mode. We can't say that idu nanage ಬೇಕಾಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಎಷ್ಟೋ ಜನರು, I remember that mathematics ಕಂಡ್ರೆ ಇಷ್ಟ ಆಗಲ್ಲ ಅವರಿಗೆ. So arithmetic ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ಓಡಿ ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ. Especially mathematics was a hated subject. Today the same people are looking at the graphs and saying, now V curve irtiva, U curve irtiva, how are we how is the disease progressing? People are learning to relearning to read a graph. So there is nothing now that you can say that my days of studies are over. Study or learning, more appropriately, is a continuous activity. We have to constantly reinvent ourselves. And this is especially for people in the universities, those of you who are from different universities who are in this audience. The role of the teacher itself changes. So ಹಿಂದೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು, ಟೀಚರ್ ಮೇಲೆ ನಿಂತಿರ್ತಾರೆ, ಅವರು ಹೇಳೋದೇ ನಾಲೆಡ್ಜ್. ವಾಟ್ ಎವರ್ ದ ನಾಲೆಡ್ಜ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ he or she gives, that is what the student absorbs. So the teacher used to be called the sage on the stage. On the dais ಮೇಲೆ ನಿಂತುಕೊಂಡು the ರಿಷಿ ಮುನಿ ಹೇಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೋ ಆ ತರ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಡ್ತಾರಂತ. Sage on the stage. Today the student can go to the internet and know more about chemistry than the chemistry teacher. There is more information available online. So what does the teacher do? The teacher becomes a guide on the side. ಪಕ್ಕದಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಂತಿರುತ್ತಾರೆ, ಇದು ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್, ಇದು ತಪ್ಪಾದ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡು, ಇದನ್ನು ಓದು, ಇದನ್ನು ವಾಟ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ರೆಡ್, ಟ್ರೈ ಟು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆರಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಅಂಡ್ ವ್ಯಾಲಿಡೇಟ್ ಇಟ್. ಸೊ ದ ಟೀಚರ್ ಬಿಕಮ್ಸ್ ಅ ಗೈಡ್ ಆನ್ ದ ಸೈಡ್. ಫ್ರಮ್ sage on the stage, the teacher becomes guide on the side. That is why Dr. Sachidananda is now sitting on the side and telling us, this is the way you have to go forward. So that is the second change that is required in you. Thirdly, this is my favorite subject. Everybody who has heard me has heard me. There is something called social responsibility. And no better person than Dr. Balu, who has dedicated his life to social responsibility. We are very familiar with corporate social responsibility. Adu companygalu avaru ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ. What about personal social responsibility? And more importantly, what COVID-19 has taught us is collective social responsibility. Now, personal social responsibility is relatively easy. ನಾನು ಓದಿದ್ದೀನಿ, ನನ್ನ ಕಲಿಕೆಯನ್ನು ಇನ್ನೊಬ್ಬರಿಗೆ ನಾನು ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಟ್ರೆ I have fulfilled my personal social responsibility. ಇಲ್ಲ ಒಂದು NGOಗೆ ನಾನು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಹಣ ಕೊಡ್ತೀನಿ, I have fulfilled my personal social responsibility. Its reach is less and its effort taken is less. Collective social responsibility is much bigger. That is what COVID is teaching us. If I don't wear my mask, I am affecting myself and those next to me. Now don't ask me why I have removed. I have removed only for the speech. Otherwise I am constantly wearing. But I never remove the mask when I am outside. So the reach of our actions is much more. And what you do can affect me, your family, the greater community. So collective social responsibility becomes extremely important in the new world or the new normal. And educating people is also part of our social responsibility. Because we have medical science has advanced, but its reach is still less. So awareness creation becomes an important social responsibility that all of us have to fulfill. So these are the changes that we need to do within ourselves. We need to embrace change. We need to get into continuous learning, and we need to exercise collective social responsibility. Now, finally, what bridges, and that brings me to my third and final point. What is the most important tool that we have in order to navigate this new normal? That is capacity building. Now, we are all familiar with Amartya Sen's theory of capability. Our capability now enhance ಮಾಡಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ಹೆಚ್ಚಿಸಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ we have to do capacity building activities. And I anticipate that once we cross this COVID crisis, as we move further and further into normalcy, governments and corporates will be investing in health, in education, in infrastructure, and in capacity building. So both in terms of investment and importance, capacity building comes to the forefront. Now, when we do capacity building, let us remember two things. Now, we always address the same social class, university students, those who are within the education net. But now our reach has to be much more. Now, let us imagine, even within COVID, what has happened? Decision making may be taken by doctors or higher level politicians or administrators. But where is the information coming from? It is coming from that nurse or from that doctor in some district hospital who is taking the swab results. If the nurse does not take the swab properly, or the technician does not do the test properly, decisions here at the higher level will not be correct. So the front line becomes very important. In the same way, if an ASHA worker does not implement the decisions properly, or an NSS volunteer does not know how to educate the general public, then all the decisions which we take, all the awareness creation which we do will be a waste. So the front line becomes extremely important. In the same way, the back room also becomes important. ಈಗ ನಾವು ಎಷ್ಟು ಡೇಟಾ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ಸ್ ಕಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ ಅಂದರೆ ಎವರ್ ಸಿನ್ಸ್ COVID-19 started, each state government and the central government is collecting humongous amounts of data. It is impossible for one mind to really sit and collate that data. So that wonderful work is being done by data entry operators and technical people, computer professionals. Now, that backroom work is critical if we are to take sensible decisions as to how to control that virus. So both backroom and frontline become critical, and therefore these two groups have to be addressed when we build our capacity building network. Finally, we should learn to work as teams. Now, I already said that cooperation and collaboration are critical in the new normal which we have to navigate. Now, Yuval Noah Harari anta ಒಂದು historian, ಅವರು ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, why is mankind so dominant? ಇಡೀ ಜಗತ್ತನ್ನು ನಾವು ಗೆದ್ದಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ಯಾಕೆ? Because we are able to collaborate with each other. We are able to cooperate with each other. We are able to exchange information. Now, we may say, how COVID, Nodi, it has brought us down to our knees. That is true. It is a small virus, invisible. We can't touch it, feel it, see it, but it is challenging us. But we are also giving the good fight. The doctors here, sitting in Bangalore, know what is going on. Let us say in USA or Italy or Wuhan, constantly medical information is being exchanged. Treatment protocols are being studied. Our reach is so much, and we are, even knowingly or unknowingly, even the general public, we are becoming aware of what is going on in the rest of the world, and we are seeing others and trying to emulate that, and we are trying in turn to educate others. What does this show? That we need to be able to work in groups. I said cooperation, collaboration is important. Our education system does not now allow us to do that. How do we educate? All engineers are educated with other engineers, doctors with other doctors, maybe some other humanities students with other humanities students. We need to be able to cross those boundaries. Caste boundary cross ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ, class boundary we have crossed, but now we have to cross this professional specialization boundaries. Because a doctor, a surgeon, let us say, if he has to work, his nurse has to be good. If she doesn't understand the protocols, there is no point in, you are having a great surgeon standing over there. The technician is good. If you are using, let us say, a surgical knife, then you need to be able to use it precisely, and the correct scalpel or the knife should be handed over to you. So we need to be able to work in teams. Normally we have solved this by hierarchy. Government nalli tumba easy. When the group ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೇನು, whatever the secretary says, everybody will agree, because that is what, and I think the same goes for many other professions. But what about a group of equals? What about a group where everybody's importance is almost the same as each other, but they have to learn to yield when the other person's expertise is called for? Now, I may be an expert in administration, but when I need something in medicine or some advice regarding medicine, then I will yield to a doctor's higher knowledge. If I need to know something about education, I will yield to a teacher's higher knowledge. So we should be able to cross the boundaries of specializations and work as teams. And I feel a very important component of our capacity building activities, which is now lacking, is that knowledge to be able to work in teams across specializations as equals. And that is what now, in the new normal of post-COVID-19 world, we have to learn. So these are my fundamental points. The working world is going to change, my friends. ನಾವು ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡುವ ವಾತಾವರಣ ಬದಲಾವಣೆ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ನಾವು ನಮ್ಮನ್ನು ನಾವು ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಬದಲಾವಣೆ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು, ಪರಿವರ್ತನೆ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. And we use capacity building as the tool to do this. Thank you all very much. And I would like to hear my co-panelists on the matter. Thank you.
Thank you, madam. That was a wonderful insight into how we can turn crisis into an opportunity. ಈ ವಿಷಯದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಬಹಳ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಸವಿಸ್ತಾರವಾಗಿ ತಾವು ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೀರಾ. we have to live with it. ಮುಂದೆ ಆಗುವಂತ ಬದಲಾವಣೆಗಳನ್ನ ನಾವು ನಮ್ಮನ್ನ ಪರಿವರ್ತನೆ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು, ಹೊಂದ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. ಆಗ್ಲೇ ನಾವು ಅದನ್ನ ಒಂದು ಸಾಧನೆ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಅನುಕೂಲ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ನೀವು ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೀರಾ. ತುಂಬಾ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು ಮೇಡಮ್. I also recognize the presence of Sri KV Kadri Narasimhayya, Regional Director of NSS Bangalore, and also Mr.